Okay, Avi. I was telling you, I'm so happy that you are here with me and say yes so fast. Like you don't hesitate, because I invite people, and well, we see each other, so it's like you are not a random person. But I invite people that they don't know me, and they say yes, and I feel brave. They're brave people to say yes. How do you describe like this invitation for you? Let's start from there.
I'm blessed.
You bless.
I'm blessed to be able to connect.
Connect. You like
Yeah,
connect,
I do.
network with people, with
I do.
players. So when I see you the first time, let's come back to that part. When I see you the first time, it was my first open tournament ever. It was 3 years ago, and I remember because it was in Mississippi. It was in how that club called Bluff.
Bayou Bluff. Yes,
Bayou Bluff.
yes, sir.
So I see you there, and I was scared to everyone, because it was open tournament. So I was a 3-0 in that. I still a 3-0 rating USDA, right? But I was there just with my heart and my balls, but I don't have any so much talent in that moment. I just want to participate in something, to have the mentality, the experience. And I see you there. It was your second round, and you was so locked in. So you bring I remember that moment because I was sitting here and you was there, and you was looking, not talking to nobody because it was few minutes away from your match, and you bring your massage machine and you was like giving you a massage to your legs, and then you go all into your match. And I see you, and at that moment you was competing a kid. In that moment he have like 16 years old. I don't remember the name, but he was very good. And I see you, and the way you play is unique. Some people may find different, whatever, is unique. So for me it was like, wow, this guy play beautiful. And then, well, we don't talk each other. I see you like 4 or 5 times maybe. And then the last time I saw you, we was playing in the court on the side, right? And I say, I need to tell him. But I was in the middle of the match. You was in the middle of the match, so I was scared to tell you because sometimes I'm very locked in. I don't know how I'm gonna take a comment inside a match. I don't know how you're gonna take a comment inside a match, but I go to you and I say, listen, man, I just want to tell you, you play so beautiful and inspire me so much. You remember that day?
I do remember that day. That actually helped me pull through in my own match, actually.
That was like 1 month ago, right?
Yeah.
So it take me 3 years to talk to you.
I'm glad you made conversation with me. I'm glad we met.
So in that moment, it's like for me, I unlock like that connection, and then we have a great conversation. And I want to talk more, but you have a match, I have a match. So I was looking this tournament. See, you are coming to have this conversation like the way I wanted. So how you start tennis in your life?
Gosh, I started playing when I was like 8 years old, just because my sister was playing, and
She's older.
she's older. She's 12 years older than me, and she was taking lessons with a guy that's a great coach, and that kind of inspired me to pick up a racket. And my parents won like a sweepstakes, like a tennis lesson sweepstakes from a coach that was a Division I coach at a college.
So he was very good.
He was very good, and I started taking lessons from that coach, and then I started taking lessons from the local country club as well. And that's how my journey kind of started. And for me, like, I was never a very orthodox athlete. I was always unorthodox, and I feel like now I use it to my benefit. I use it to my strength. But back then, it was very difficult for me to like really get opportunities to move into higher groups, because a lot of the kids in higher groups were like better kids, but I always wanted to play with them, but the coaches would never allow me to play with them because I had a little bit of a different style.
That's something that you go very fast. I was going to that part, but your sister compete like you?
My sister didn't compete at the highest level. She decided to focus on academics when she was in high school.
Okay. So You have a unique style, and I love your style. Though, you have your style and you success with your style. I don't care. I don't care. But in America, we have a lot of judgmental people, and in tennis, especially because in tennis you need to move in certain way. You need to have that spaghetti arm. You need to have your feet correctly this way. And then when you start, how how do you define your start? You start with that style since the beginning. So they was telling you you need to have the elbow here and you don't want that. How do you can you come back to that moment when you start the drama between your coach and your style?
So when I first started, my coach told me to point the butt cap of my racket to the net and follow all the way through on the ball, and it's made me hit very flat initially, and I feel like I had a lot of success hitting flat. Okay. And I just kind of picked up playing that way. I just kind of picked up hitting the ball very flat and like kind of hard and hitting through the court. And yes, when I was like about 13, 14 years old, the coaches wanted me to totally change my style, change my technique. And I tried to, but like it just wasn't.
So that was 4 years after you start, they want to change you.
They wanted to change me
to the normal.
To the normal.
So how do you take that emotionally?
Emotionally, gosh, I felt like the coaches that taught me before had not really taught me the right style. And I almost felt like, gosh, I got to relearn tennis. I got to relearn everything in the game. But the coaches told me something, and I didn't want to ignore what the coaches told me. I just wanted to kind of take it as my own. It's like jazz. Like in jazz music, you have your style in jazz, and let's say you're a jazz pianist and you listen to someone else, then you listen to Duke Ellington, and then you listen to like maybe Sir Charles, or maybe you listen to like Professor Longhair, all these different like various artists, and you get ideas from them. You don't ever think that any of their styles are totally right or totally wrong. You're kind of neutral in the whole situation. So with me, I feel like I always kept a neutral mindset. Whenever the coach told me, "Hey, I got to change," I was very neutral to it. I knew like what I was doing was having some success, but I also knew that I could use some like refinement in my game. So I just kind of took parts and pieces of what that coach said, and then we moved on to a different coach. And with a different coach, I took bits and pieces of what that coach said as well.
So you moved the coach because it was like getting in your mind.
It was getting in my mind, and that coach didn't believe in me very much. So one thing I had to really fight as a kid is most of the coaches that I took tennis lessons from never truly believed in me, never truly like gave me their time.
Yeah, but just because the style.
Well, athletic ability, they didn't see me as like having the natural athletic ability or the natural movement. They saw it as like unorthodox or like,
yeah. Who is this guy?
And I had a coach tell me in my life that I would never make a tennis career. I would never do anything in tennis, and that was heard a lot in my life.
Of course, you're a kid, so you don't understand nothing about life, and these people are telling you these hard things as a kid is it's not good as a human being, for being honest.
It isn't. And I believe that I could have really been a better tennis player if I had like better support, if there could have been, if the coaches could have told me that, hey, you've got a unique style, but we can refine it. Like I don't believe in like, in my opinion, I don't believe in totally changing someone's strokes or like totally like redoing someone's game. I believe in refinement. And I myself am actually a coach now.
Yeah.
And I teach tennis at a country club. And like when I see some unique styles, when I see some unique strokes, I believe in maybe
you embrace
refining one or two things. And I embrace their style. I embrace what everyone, because in tennis, you have many different styles. You have Rafa Nadal's like boogie whip forehand. You have Roger Federer's like clean forehand where he really drives the ball through the court. You have Andy Roddick's like short take back. You have Juan Carlos Ferrero with his like high topspin balls. You have Guillermo Coria from even back in the day hitting like ripping high topspin balls. You have so many different styles of like hitting a ball where like not one style is right or wrong. Everyone has their unique style in what they do.
So
But
how many years take you to learn that, accept that?
it wasn't easy to accept. It probably really by like college. By the time I got to college, I finally started accepting. By the time I was like a junior in college.
So 10 years.
Probably 10 years.
So do you work with psychologists or something, sports psychologists, or your sister helped you? Who was like give you the good support?
My father actually gave me a lot of support.
Okay.
My dad's a great athlete. Now, my dad is really the person that influenced me to be the athlete I am. He was a marathon runner, and he had some great finishes in marathons.
So he was giving you like the good mindset.
He was giving me the good mindset, and he really like encouraged me to work on my conditioning. He really encouraged me to work on my movement, work on my physical fitness. And I believe like with the style that I had, like when I developed a little bit of physicality, when I developed a little bit of athleticism, like the athleticism that I have is not natural. It's something I had to really work for. I had to put in a lot of hours in like doing footwork drills every single day, doing conditioning, doing stretching.
So you was working more than the regular players around you.
I was putting in probably maybe twice as much as like just an average Joe that played the sport.
Okay. So do you feel like lonely in your career as a young player?
I do actually. I feel a little bit lonely in my career as a young player.
So you know, you was blessed to have your dad support in that time to continue the path, because if you don't have your dad, support, I think you maybe quit.
That's true.
That come to your mind, quit? Sometimes?
That never came to my mind because
you love tennis.
I love the sport too much. I loved competing too much.
Okay.
And in the early like when I grew up watching Andy Roddick, Leighton Hewitt, Andre Agassi, and Roger Federer. Those were my four idols when I was growing up. And then and then Roger Federer really inspired, watching Roger Federer on TV really inspired me. The Federer-Roddick match in Wimbledon really inspired me to like take it more seriously.
Like in the competing way, the competitive mindset, you say? Yeah, definitely. They push that match. They push their minds to the limit. Not just in the body. The mind is like, wow. I'm struggling with the mind, but we go there in a moment.
And then Rafael Nadal, watching Rafa Nadal emerge, really opened up my mind and was like, okay, there's a time and place for someone who hits the ball a little bit differently. And then in high school, there was a coach that really kind of took me under his belt. His name was Jerry Pate. He was actually my sister's first coach. He's actually the one who the man that my sister was working with before. He was a little bit unorthodox in his views. He had an unorthodox appearance
also, okay,
as well. Like he had long hair, and he was a little different, but he embraced my style. He embraced my ability. He embraced who I was, and his idea was to refine what I could do. His idea was to refine my game and like enhance it rather than totally change. And he really took me under his belt. He gave me a lot of mental coaching, a lot of support in my style of play. And like, he taught me a lot of things, even tactically, about like how to approach the game of tennis as well.
So when I see you playing and I learn a lot, you don't know this. I'm going to tell you this. You're going to feel like crazy story. But in that court that we talk, that I tell you that you play beautiful. What is the name of that country club?
Treasure Oaks Country Club.
So Treasure Oaks. One day at one of my open tournaments that I went, I lose my first match with a guy that I don't remember right now. And because in that moment he was learning, he improved a lot, but he was like sliding the ball too much for me, for my style. So he put me on the run with a slide, and anyway. So I drove the next day just to see you how you beat that guy. So maybe if I tell you the name you remember, but I don't remember. So instead I was avoiding he was doing the slide with the forehand. So I see you. I'm sorry because we stopped your story for a second, but I see you. You attack more that hand instead of avoid it. Maybe if you know the name, you notice, but I say, wow, I was avoid that hand so much. But the thing is, you attack that hand because he lose consistent of the sliding.
Yes, I know exactly the kid that you're talking about.
Oh,
I do.
You know,
That
but you don't the name. But we're not gonna mention. But you know the guy.
I do know the guy.
So he was sliding too much. So why you decide? And we continue to your story. But why do you decide? But I drive. You know, it's 1 hour from here. I drive.
That's a long drive.
6 in the morning just to see you 8 in the morning, just to see what you do. But the thing is, when I play him again, he improved. He don't doing that shit anymore. So anyway, why you attack the forehand more if you know he's gonna slice back again?
I was really trying to like force a short ball. My whole idea in that match was to like force a short ball and to like take the short ball and come in
In the air or picking the short ball.
Picking the short ball off the ground and then off of the short ball playing an approach shot and volley combination. So my idea was playing patterns. Like I really wanted to like play the forehand cross court and down the line pattern on him because I believe that I know his forehand was the slice was pretty strong.
He was strong,
but
because the slice is not like lobbing, it's like
it was a drive.
Yeah, he put like power. So I know you know the person. Yeah, he drive me crazy the first time.
But my idea was to like really try to put him in an angle. I didn't really want to like overhit. Like I wanted to like use maybe a little bit more topspin. I hit typically pretty flat, but I wanted to use maybe a little bit more spin. I went over to like kind of like more of a Western grip.
Yeah,
I'm typically used to playing in an Eastern to continental grip even.
Yeah.
I sometimes even play in a continental grip, but I decided to go more to a Western grip and come over the ball more.
Oh my goodness. A lot of technical stuff there in your strategy. Sorry.
My idea was to make the ball bounce a little bit. So he could float one up, and then off of his floaty ball, I could kind of take that down the line and come in. I knew, actually, I got down in that match, I think like 3-1. And after I got down 3-1, I decided, I was just like, okay, what's working? And then next point, I hit a angle service return with a little bit more topspin, more air, and he floated a ball really short to me, and I knocked it out. And after that, I was just like, okay, this pattern might work, but I got to be really, really patient. I thought in my head, I got to be very, very patient with this. So I decided to like just continue to roll, continue to like just pick on that pattern. That's actually, believe it or not, I learned that from watching Rafa Nadal, because that's what makes Nadal so great. What made Nadal so great on tour was the fact that he, not his topspin, but his ability to pick off patterns, his ability to like play pattern tennis and like really attack like a certain like strategic, it's not a weakness because that's an excellent shot, but it's attack a certain strategic position.
So I see,
gain advantage of the point.
So you was attacking his forehand, and then he start to lose the, how you say this? He start to miss the slide.
He got pressured.
He got pressure, and then he he start to get like frustrated and lose the match.
Yeah.
And I was like, I do the opposite. I was avoiding. So in the forehand, he was sliding, and in the backhand, he was lobbing. So I choose the lobbing, and then I was mad anyway.
So here's my take on it. So what you were doing, you were trying to play to his weakness, but in order to get to I believe in order to get to someone's weakness, sometimes you have to deal with their strength. Sometimes you have to open up the court. Like my idea was like, I knew that I have the ability to open up the court. I knew I have the ability to change grips a little bit and go over the ball and like add more spin, add more heft on the ball. So I decided to like kind of do that to like, and also another thing I hadn't seen that whole match was that I've never seen him handle like a higher topspin ball. And I wanted to see how he was going to handle it. I mean, I knew it was tennis. The thing about tennis, and this is where tennis is a lot, it's about improvisation. It's not really, there's not a certain answer. And this is where I feel like my game does work sometimes, because there's not a real answer to like how you should play. There's more than one way to play the game. For me, I knew that it could fail. I mean, maybe he starts blasting forehands off of my high balls. And
Yeah.
if he does that, then I have to like change to something else.
Okay, so let's come back. Thank you for sharing that with me. Man, a lot. Everything that I'm doing here is man a lot, so I cannot tell you. But okay, let's come back. You go to college and play tennis in college. But what was your goal outside tennis? Do you have one? Like what you was you doing? What you study in college?
I studied in college. I studied business administration.
Okay.
And initially I was gonna like possibly like try to get into finance, but I found out that like I was not that happy with finance. I was not really happy with the people in the corporate world or like what I was possibly going to face. And
Okay.
during my college tennis experience, I kind of saw that like I really enjoy tennis more than anything else. And
So you played for the team on college?
I played for the team.
Amazing. What college was that?
Millsaps College.
Okay. Where is that?
It's in Jackson, Mississippi.
So you go to Mississippi.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So that's a small college.
It's a small college.
So those guys that I see from Mississippi are from that college.
No, they're from Mississippi. They're from coastal Mississippi.
It's another college.
Mississippi.
But you know the crew that I'm telling you.
I do know the crew that.
Yeah, they are all together.
Yes.
But it's another college.
That's another college.
Okay. So do you decide to love tennis so you drop out college? Or you finish college?
I finished college.
So you graduate and everything?
I finished my degree.
The degree?
But after I finished my degree, like I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. And my college had a master's program. And I was also interested in like possibly like coaching college tennis. And I wanted to kind of figure out like what I'm really passionate about, because I didn't really have an idea of my passion. But then my passion in tennis was reaffirmed the year that I didn't get to play as a graduate student. The year that I was taking an MBA, I just felt like, hey, I mean, I really love tennis. I want to possibly do something with it. I want to make a career out of this. So the head coach for Millsaps College gave me an opportunity to be a volunteer assistant, like help him recruit, like kind of also help out with the practices, hit with the guys on the team. And I found that I found more joy in like hitting with guys on the team, coaching, and then coaching also at a country club in Jackson over like my academics. So after that, I decided like, hey, I want to get into the tennis industry. And that's what I chose. I decided that I wanted to be in tennis full time.
Okay, that's amazing, because you are a great tool in tennis in the South. And let me ask you, do you win something in college in tennis? Do you win any tournament? How was your career in tennis in college?
My career in college tennis, I was a 4-year starter.
Okay.
I was actually a 2-time all-conference selection in singles, and I also was on the all-tournament team 2 times. And my junior year of college tennis, I was like third. I had the third highest win percentage on the team. And I won some very big matches for our team. I won a match that actually got our team like second place in conference.
Oh my
over
goodness.
being third place in conference. And in conference tournament, I had some big wins in my career in the conference tournament for our school. And I also got the all sportsmanship team twice. And I was voted MVP as not MVP. I was voted like team captain as a senior for our team, and I was also voted most improved player on the team by junior year. I didn't come in all that talented or that great. I was kind of a diamond in the rough when I first came in. Like our coach didn't really know what to expect. He didn't know like whether I was going to be a starter or whether I was just going to be like another player that came in.
And then you was competing outside college too in these open tournaments.
I was competing in the open tournaments.
So you've been competing 16 years
I
ago, you tell me, right?
Yes, sir.
So how is your winning rate in the open ones?
My winning rate in the open ones.
So do you have any championship?
I've won several tournaments in my tennis career. I've had I've won the Bayou Bluff tournament several times. I've also won.
Amazing.
I've also won the Diamondhead tournament run by the Steve Garman when he was at Diamondhead, and I also I got to the finals of a national level level 4 as well in Indianapolis 2 years in a row. And in men's opens, I've actually been ranked in the top 60 in the nation before. I've actually had a ranking of like top 60 in the country in men's open singles, and UTR wise.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. Sorry, tell me.
I've had a UTR as high of 10.5.
Okay. So do you compete in UTR tournaments as well?
I compete in UTR tournaments as well.
And that's the very difficult ones, right?
Those tournaments are even harder than USTA.
Yeah.
They're even more challenging because the UTR circuit is way deeper than the USTA tournament circuit, because you have players that are like juniors. You have like top-notch junior players. You have top-notch college players as well competing in that. And those junior and college players have like a major advantage over someone like me that's just like teaching tennis at a country club full time. That's not training all the time.
Yeah. So how that go for you, the UTR ones? The best UTR that you remember. Do you beat somebody in the first and second round?
The best UTR results, I've won 4 UTR tournaments.
What? Oh my goodness.
I won the Baylor School UTR in Chattanooga like 3 times.
You're recently. A champion, boy.
And I got to the semifinals of a UTR in Orlando as well, and I've won consolations in a couple of UTR tournaments as well.
What do you prefer? Amazing numbers. What do you prefer, UTR or USTA tournaments?
To me, they're both the same. I like USTA because like UTR, my thing about UTR is that I don't think the UTR rating is totally accurate, and I think that there's some flaws in the rating.
Okay.
And I believe that like it's all based off of a metric. It's all based off of like what you're like. For example, you can be an 8.5 and I can be a 9.2.
Okay.
And let's say I beat you like 7-6, 3-6, 10-8. It should still count as a win for me, but that could actually drop my rating. Because you were an 8.5 and I was a 9.2.
Okay.
And that's where I feel like there is like a little bit of a flaw, because even sometimes when I win UTR tournaments, my rating does not go up. And then another thing about UTR is that sometimes they place you in like flighted tournaments, like the tournaments are flighted, which means that like all the players in the tournament are around your rating, but like sometimes you feel like your rating is like a lot higher than like the players that you're playing with. And I believe that for me, like I almost like the USTA more. The UTR I like because I get to compete against college players and like juniors.
Yeah, the competition is very hard. And you like competition.
I like competition a lot, but the USTA, like I kind of like how it's like all uniform to where like you're not just in separate draws. There's like one winner for a tournament. It doesn't matter like what UTR you are, what rating you are, you get to play. Like if you win, let's say you win like a men's opens tournament in Bayou Bluff, and like there's like a 9.5, and then an 8.3, and then there's like a 7.9, and you beat all 3 of them. The wins over all 3 of them mean way more. But let's say in a UTR tournament, I do the same thing and I'm rated a 10.5, then my UTR actually could go down. I'm not really.
Yeah, I understand. I totally understand. So, you always been like this nice, or you are working in your personal development too? Because I see when you talk to me after I tell you the comment that day, we have a nice conversation about breeding and everything. And man, you are so nice person. You always been like this, or you was very quiet and now you are working in your personal development? Tell me your secret, because you are so nice person. I'm very good human person.
Well, I'm a little unorthodox and I struggle socially. I have some social deficiencies.
But it's not look like. So how you are working with that?
I'm just trying to be myself. Before, like there's times to where like I feel so uncomfortable in my own skin.
Okay, in your own skin?
In my own, I feel so uncomfortable being myself.
Oh, okay.
It's sometimes it's difficult to like be authentic because people, as you said, people are so judgmental.
Yeah.
And I've always had the issue of being judged by people, and that's never easy to go through. And at this point in my life, part of me has like kind of given into the fact that people are always going to judge. People are always going to tell you what they think. They're always going to tell you what they think about you. But like, you can't really let that bother you. You have to do what you do. You know your self-worth. And I've been really trying to work on self-care. I've been really trying to work on self-worth and like just really trying to work on myself personally. In my own mind, like I've been trying to work on like meditation, work on like trying to find a zen with my life. Not just with tennis, with my life overall. I'm trying to find a zen. I'm trying to find like a happy place, really. And it's just like really personal development, like reading several, like, I guess, theories of thought. Like I've been listening to theorists like such as Carl Jung. I've really been listening to Carl Jung a lot. He's been a theorist that's like really inspired me recently. And I've also been listening to like podcasts of like other theorists as well that have like certain, like, I guess, tips.
I see your I'm a person that I admire you. That's the right word. I admire you from the side. So every time that I see you, you was like changing until this moment that we are here together. So I see you from last year from the side, because we don't know each other. From the side, from last year, I see you connecting more with people and talking more with your opponents. From the first time that I see you, you was more quiet, more in your zone, and that's okay because we are tennis player, and if we are gonna compete each other, so we are not friends anymore until the match is over, right? But now I see you like you are very polite, you are very communicator, and yeah, I see that change. And in that moment that I talked to you, it was like an urgency to tell you, like, this is the moment I need to take ownership and tell him, because this is the moment. But for you, I'm like this. I'm very communicator. I'm very different. I'm very open. But for you, I see your change from the side. Even that I don't know you, because I'm learning from you. I see your style. I see you winning. You don't miss. You don't miss. So I enjoy your games. But also I see you more. You talk more. So when do you say you're changing your personal development? Do you know where that start? Because I noticed from last year from the side. But how many months or years you're working your personal self?
Really, probably like the last like five or 6 months I've tried to really take like an ownership.
Wow.
Of myself. It's just like I had a situation just where like something clicked. Yeah, I had a situation where a person said something that wasn't so nice to me, and I have a mentor in Dothan, there's a guy in Dothan, very, very wise person. And he's almost like a father figure to me. And he told me that whether I'm going to allow the outside forces to like rule my life, or whether I'm going to take ownership of who I am, and whether I'm going to like be my best fan, whether I'm going to be my best motivator. And I decided that like, hey, I don't want to allow outside forces. I don't want to allow the outside to like influence who I am. And I've been like trying to read like some theories of thought, like from Carl Jung is my favorite theorist, actually. Carl Jung talks about like the inner self. He talks about like the outside as a distraction. Like the people who really care about you are the ones who don't just act like they need something from you all the time. And he also talked about like how life can be lonely, but you have yourself. You have your body, you have your mind, and you have to be happy about who you are. You have to be happy about your own self, and no one's going to be your fan. You have to be your biggest fan. And I almost learned that. I've almost started trying to embrace that. It's still not perfect. It's a work in development. Everything for me is a work in development. It's like research and development. Nothing is for sure. Like even in my tennis game, nothing is for sure. I mean, my forehand could be off in one match, but my backhand could be good.
Yeah.
My backhand and forehand could be on in one match, but my footwork could be absolutely terrible. My serve could be good, but my forehand and backhand could be non-existent.
Wow, it's
And
real.
And that's how every day is. Like every day is like imperfect. You attack every single. And I also, another thing that inspired me was the great Andre Agassi's Hall of Fame speech. How Agassi describes tennis as like a figure of life. How Agassi describes like how tennis is a reflection of how you live. It's like life in miniature. How love, like all the lessons of life are learned with love, advantage. How you don't have to be perfect every single day, but you just have to be better than your competitor. You just have to be a little bit better than the person that you're playing. And that's just like life. How you take risks, you take gambles every day in life, but you also have to play safe sometimes. You use your judgment. And tennis is, to me, is like really a reflection of life. It's really a reflection of like who you are as a person.
It is.
The way you conduct yourself on a court, like you can either conduct yourself in like a humiliating manner. You can either go out there and like act really nasty towards your opponent and like cheat and like, act classless, or you can just brush all that aside and like act as calm, as chill, as humble, as nice as ever, and like act like nothing bothers you. I mean, deep down, things do bother me on the court. I try to keep a zen. I try to keep like a zen-like focus, but things do bother me. It's still imperfect. I do still get angry. I'm not a robot. I'm human, and I show my anger on the court sometimes, but I try to really be my best fan. I try to really be a person that tries to like motivate myself on the court rather than use negative energy. I try to like turn everything into positive energy. That's really my goal every single day. And I've really, on the inspirations in my tennis career have really been Rafael Nadal, Andre Agassi, Guillermo Coria, David Ferrer. To me, those are all players of consistency. Those are all people who conduct themselves in a very consistent manner day to day. That's why they're so great. That's why those players are so unbelievable. And the thing about Agassi that blows my mind away is that he wasn't this like great human being. He wasn't this great person from the start. He was a rebel, but he started in his own interview. He actually appreciated his father. He said he sent a thank you note to his father. He sent an intimate love letter to Steffi Graf. He thanked Gil Reyes, who was his trainer long time. And I almost believe like that inspires me more than like just being a great tennis player. And that's what I almost think like made him great the second time around. If that makes sense.
So we don't know each other, right? And how do you feel like a total stranger like me that you see me before? Maybe I have a not much friends face because I have a serious face. How do you feel? I know it meant a lot to you, but it's very that you tell me you are working your personal development and you struggle a lot with your communication, and you have Ray Anthony come to you in a tennis match and tell you that moment that you need support. Do you don't think like life is so great sometimes for a moment like that happen to you?
I think life is beautiful in moments like that. Really shows the beauty of life.
Wow, it was like so amazing. And the thing is, when you talk to me after that match, the match that I have after, it was with the guy that I tell you beat, that I drive to see you.
Yeah,
I have the match with him, and I lost 4-0, 4-0. I was very tired, honestly. He improved. He's not doing the sliding so much. He was not loving. He now have a very tough spin ball, so it's very difficult. And also, it was like a short match. It was only 4 games. So I lost 4-0, 4-0. But it don't look like that. I was just doing so many mistakes when you are tired. So that's coming to a part that I want to talk to you. You talk about how tennis define you, how you are in life outside tennis. You put something, some words like that. In lake charts that you see the score, I have a break. I have a 12:30 p.m. match. The first round, it was a 3-5. I decided to go 3-5 because still 3-0, and but I win a 3-0. I'm a champion 3-0, baby. So I'm working the 3-5.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and then it was 12:30 p.m. Very hot. Avi, very hot. When I go to the court, I was already upset, and you was in my mind the whole match. Don't show that you are upset. Don't show it. So I was looking, but I was like struggling with that type of player that they don't want to play. They don't hit the ball. So he was like hitting short balls anytime. But the thing is, I'm in a surviving mode. You know, my body was in a surviving mode. Like, don't run, because you run, you're gonna get tired because it's so hot. So all the short balls, I was like going long or going to the net. So I was giving 3 points. I was suffering. And then in the second set, I was like, I lock in. You know, when I tell you lock in, is sometimes I play. I cannot describe what happened. I'm lucky. I'm not losing any points. No matter what other player is in the other side. Sometimes I'm looking, like sometimes I arrive to my body and I'm looking. I don't feel the heat. I don't feel the pain. I don't feel the frustration. I'm just like another person. And I arrive in that moment. We have a drama that it was 3-3 or 4-4. So I was thinking it was 3-3 my serve. So he was like 4-4. So the director came. He's the lake chart person. We are in lake charts. We are in the main court with 100 people watching the match. So everyone was quiet, trying to hear what is happening. So he don't remember who starts serving or which side. I don't remember, because in the heat you start losing your mind. So I don't remember. He don't remember. So the director go with this board. The board say 3-4, so we go with the 4-4, and it was my serve. So I double fault. I lose this next point, and then I lose the another. So I was so lucky, and that moment owned me, and I lose that match. And then when I lose that match, I see, my wife, my kids sweat in the crowd. My son, he was like sleeping, all sweat, and all that frustration start to build up, and I want to go. I don't want to play the consolation. And my wife tell me, like, we are here, let's try. If you start to quitting now, in every tournament when you lost, you want to go. So if you continue playing, just live the experience, like try to come back. So it was an emotional decision to me, because outside tennis, I'm a business person. So I have a lot of stress. I'm in some business that I have, I'm making money. Another business I don't have making money. If I when I finish the tennis match, I need to continue my life, as a business person. So sometimes in tennis matches, when I have an emotional moment, that is emotional. Tennis is emotional. It comes all the emotion outside tennis to that moment, and I don't want it. I just want to stop all those emotions, but start to build up. And then I do the thing that you tell me that I do when I'm mad. I rush. I want to finish the match earlier. I just have an easy ball, and I just want to finish the point instead of rally, and I start to rush the tennis, the game, and start to build frustration because I'm losing easy points, right? Easy balls, and then I'm losing to a person that I feel and I know is not a better player than me, right? Because I'm putting the words, and I'm putting the words and putting the effort, and he's not hitting the ball to beat me. Maybe you, when we play together in an open tournament, maybe sometime you're gonna hit me points, so you are killing me. So I accept that because I cannot do nothing. But when I'm losing to a guy that is not passing, he's not doing nothing. It's just me doing the errors. It's like, wow, I need to manage myself outside tennis because it's affecting my tennis. And all the things that you are saying today is real. I'm letting things go into my tennis. and I don't know how to stop it. I'm in that position these last few tournaments that I get emotional. Boom, I'm losing my balls.
It's a
And I
very
was going in, I was growing, and then I hit the line and I'm coming back.
it's a
So
very tough balance because your tennis really reflects like how your life is going.
yeah,
It really reflects like the stressors in your life. It really
exactly.
reflects like your mind. How's your mind that day? Because there's days that I wake up to where like I'm just not feeling great. Like I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling groggy. I don't really feel like working out. I don't really feel like going and like teaching a lesson. There's times that I feel like that, and then I have to tell myself, look, if I don't teach this lesson or if I don't like go out here and hit balls, I'm gonna make it a habit to where like anytime I'm stressed out a little bit, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna refuse to do the basic things that I need to.
So I'm not lonely with the feeling. So you feel the same way.
I feel the exact same pressure.
It's a
It's
pressure. It's a pressure. Yes.
it's very difficult. Like Roger, one of my greatest motivators was I watched Roger Federer's Princeton graduate, not Princeton, Dartmouth graduation speech,
Okay.
and Roger Federer talks about how he talks about this idea of like effortlessness. He talks about this idea of like being perfect, and Roger Federer kind of rips apart both of those ideas. He tells like the graduating class how it just made him so upset when people said effortless, not trying, putting in no
I,
effort, because people don't the lame person does not understand how much effort Roger Federer puts in on the practice court. They don't really see his conditioning sessions. They don't really see his like 8.5 hours a day of like hitting backhands, 8.5 hours a day of hitting forehands, and the things that he does off the court, the things that he does in his diet, the things that he does in his like mental to get his mental state ready. And people also don't understand when they see Federer as like being totally calm, they don't understand the fact that like even when he's totally calm, there's thoughts going through his head. He has feelings, and like when he looked like totally calm when he's getting his butt kicked by Rafael Nadal, he is not happy. He's very emotionally upset that that's occurring, and that's a real thing. Like even from someone that we see as perfect, even from someone that we see as like, oh great, he's a goat of tennis, he's the greatest of all time, he still shows vulnerabilities. He still expressed one thing that I thought was so beautiful about that speech at Dartmouth was the fact that he expressed his vulnerabilities as a person. He expressed how it takes a lot of effort. Nothing comes given to you for everything. And that kind of relates to me because for everything I do right now, it might look good. It might look like I'm a great player. It might look like how do I hit these angles? How do I come up with these shots? But for me, the reason my game looks good, the reason my game looks fluent to an extent, and I don't think it is really that fluent, but the reason I look like a great player is not because I was born with it. It's not because I was given everything. It's because it's because of the things that I did off the court. It's because of the decisions I made in my life. It's because of all the people who believe in me, all the coaches who believed in me, my parents, my sister, my brother-in-law, all of them believed in who I am, what I can be. And even on the tough days, even on the days that I don't really feel, I don't want to wake up even. I don't want to go wake up and go and like work or like teach lessons or like play or like train. I don't want to do all this stuff. I just want to sleep. I just want to like watch movies all day. I have to tell myself if I do that, then I'm disappointing the people that invested so much in my life, that put in so much for me to do what I'm doing.
I feel that way. I feel when I lose a tournament like that, in the first round, it's like I fell to the people who believe in me. Like, yeah, I want to come back with a trophy. I want to come back with a win, and they put so effort with me. Teaching me, supporting me, helping me in my development. And it's so much pressure. You say the word correctly. It's a pressure. Like you are there for you, but you are there for them too, because your win is their win too. You want to share the success. But also tennis is winning and losing. So you need to be like 100% peace with your mind that you are losing most of the time. Even if you win the match, you are losing too many points to win that match. But the thing is, when everything, outside personal, or your mood, or the heat, or the other player is disrespectful, is cheating, all those things, these people outside tennis that support you, they don't understand because they are not in your mind in that moment. Even if they tell you, let's go, or whatever, or to support you, that not go away so easy. So that's the part that I'm trying to learn thanks to you, that don't show it, because if you show it, it's a muscle. So you are like giving strength to be in, upset and rushing the ball. And I'm trying to be that balance again, because I was not like this. Is the last tournament that I'm, a lot of pressure outside tennis that is arriving to my tennis. And my tennis is my mental health. I don't know if your mental health, but when I play in tennis, it's like I'm very alive. And the thing is, I feel the pressure in times like I can hit with you like 20, 30 balls rally in practice, and then let's play a tie break, and then everything changed because the pressure start to build up. Just it's a friendly tie break, and I start to miss the same balls that we was hitting 5 minutes ago, the same balls, but because we convert that rally to a tie break, friendly tie break, I get tense, but that tension don't come from the tie break. It come from my life,
from external pressures.
External pressure.
So one thing.
So how do you fix me? Fix me. How do you fix me? How are your talks to manage this new thing that I have?
One thing, I'm gonna share a quote from Carl Jung, who's my favorite philosopher.
Yes.
And Carl Jung had a statement that whatever the things that irritate us in life, the little irritations that we get in life, teach us more about ourselves. It teaches us more about who we are. And part of what I've taken from that is just whatever the external pressures we have, whatever's bothering us, whether it's like emotional, physical, or I just don't want to be here, I just don't feel like doing this.
Yeah.
Part of that, it teaches us about really who we are. Every single day, and I'm guilty of this as well. Every single day, I try to act like I'm way too busy. We all try to act like we're way too busy in our own thing, in our own job, in our own way. We all try to act. We try to avoid the difficult things in life. We try to avoid the difficult realities in life. We have an avoidance stigma, and by avoiding that, what that does is that puts inner turmoil. Because we haven't really because we don't face those pressures. We don't face life. And part of me says that I know there's a statement that we have to face whatever comes in life. And a lot of our escapes and whatever we do, we're not able to face life. And to me, that really relates to the things that irritate us in life are the things that teach us more about who we are. And that comes back because when I'm trying to avoid something, when I'm trying to avoid a situation or person or just maybe I'm playing the number one seed who's a 14 UTR. I don't want to play this match, but hey, I have to face it. I have to face that 14 UTR. I have to be. I don't want to face it because that means that my tournament ends
in the first week.
And part of it is that
the first day. Sorry, the first day.
First day.
Yeah.
Part of it is that you have to face those things. You have to face those difficult things in life. And the thing, what I've learned about it is that the challenges that life gives us, the irritations, the little discomfort that life gives us, teaches us more about ourselves. I believe that I've learned more about who I am through the challenges, through the tough things that I've gone through full body cramping in Atlanta, through actually having a hurt back when I played in Bayou Bluff one time, through also rolling my ankle in another tournament. I learned so much about who I am. I learned about human resiliency, there's an idea of like resiliency as human beings. We are all capable of like great resiliency. We are all capable of great things. We don't know it. We don't know what we're capable of until we're faced with that challenge, until we're faced with that one thing that we don't want to face. We find out who we are. We find out how strong we are. And to answer your question, how you get through this, I know I'm giving a lot. I'm talking about Carl Jung. I'm talking about many philosophers. I'm talking about the present and the distractions of the present. But through that, like through all those like little discomforts I feel like I face in life, through all those like little problems, I try to attack it with grace. Like, you know how Roger Federer always maintains zen on the court. That zen, he doesn't truly have that zen. He's facing the pressures just like we are. And I always like going back to Federer, because Federer is my inspiration as far as like behavior on the court. Federer is my inspiration as far as like just being calm and steady and like being relaxed under pressure, which he's not truly relaxed. He's putting on like he's trying to be his best fan. That's what he's doing. He's trying to be his best supporter. Him being relaxed, him looking relaxed, calm to the naked eye, is him being his best fan, him being his best person, if that makes sense. And I almost think that it comes to where like we got to accept the reality. And I almost find it to where like accepting the challenges that we have in life, accepting that, life is stressful. Mm-hmm. Every day is stressful. We have new challenges. We have different things going on. We have different irritations. Things are not perfect. Well, I mean, maybe I'm sick with COVID for a whole week, and I have to miss work for a whole week because of being sick for COVID. That's not pleasant, but like I have to face that as well. Facing all those like challenges, facing all those like tough situations, facing those people who doubt you, facing the people who don't think that you're worth their time is facing life to me. And proving all those situations wrong, proving all those people wrong, making sure that you're not succumb to those expectations, succumb to like someone telling you can't do something.
So what exercise do you recommend me when those thoughts come to my mind in a match? Like, breathe and try to stop 1 second.
Slowing down is the number one thing. Like,
instead of rush,
you have to slow down everything that you're doing. Slow down like your water intake on your changeover. Slow down like eating your granola bar or like banana.
Yeah, everything slow down.
Everything slows down significantly. Like your preparation before you serve. Take your time before you're serving. Take your time to hit a winner. Like let's say you serve and you have this instinct to like want to hit a winner. Maybe it's not the right shot to hit a winner. Maybe you should roll the next ball down the middle, next ball cross court, high with topspin.
Yeah.
In the safest part of the court. Like all those things are part of slowing down and like not rushing, taking your time to do things. Because when we're rushed, we all tend to make mistakes. We all tend to be imperfect when we're rushed.
Yeah, it happened to me because I'm like, let's say I'm hot. I'm hot. This hit is incredible. I want to finish the match in 30 minutes, but I'm not that good, and that happened to me, and I lose that incredible match just to making error, just to trying to avoid avoid my drama and work, on patience with the hit. But hit is tough. I think for everybody, the hit is tough.
It
even
really
for you.
Pushes you physically and mentally.
And nobody knows until you're there. People outside tennis don't play tennis. Tell you like, what happened to you? It's very hard to explain because the hit attack your mind. I don't know what happened to you with the hit. I don't know how do you manage, but for me it's like, why I am here.
Yeah, it's a constant struggle for me. Like I find myself playing really good in the first 2 days of a tournament, and then third day of a tournament I feel like my body gets into a lock. I'm stiff, my back is hurting, my hips are tight, my arm is sore, everything. Like I don't even want to get up for the match, but I'm forced to. It's just like it's really tough. I mean, I'm still for myself, I still don't have an answer to like how to face those things. So
it's just breathing and slow down. That helps, Avi. That's gonna help me because that's something that I don't do. I just rush.
Believe it or not, you're not alone. Like I I face these same thoughts every single day. I face the thoughts of like, hey, I don't really want to be here. Like, it's so hot outside. Like, gosh, I have to play like 60 balls to win a point. Yeah. Like I face those same thoughts. Those are all human thoughts. Those are all thoughts that we're humans. We're not robots. We're not perfect.
So my question is, you have a lot of success in tennis. For me, I started tennis 4 years ago, and I have a few finals in the trio, and then I win the trio, and now I have a semifinal 3-5, a semifinal consolation 3-5. That was like in the last 2 months. But my goal is win a 4-0 tournament and then an open tournament. So I have a lot of work to do. But for you have a lot of success. What is your next goal as a tennis player?
My next goal is to play in the professional tennis tour circuit, the UTR PTT circuit, and possibly play some futures tournaments, play a challengers tournament.
Yeah.
Potentially even try to make a Grand Slam. I know it sounds ambitious, but I've had a dream my entire life. I've had this dream of like playing against Andy Roddick in the US Open first round.
Yeah.
I've had a dream of like playing Rafael Nadal in a Grand Slam. And these dreams are, I know they're just dreams. I know I sound crazy saying that, like, I want to shoot for challengers. I want to shoot for futures titles. I want to shoot for a US Open.
Yeah, that's called challengers and wild cards and everything, right? Yeah, you can make it. A lot of players do the first round in pro tournaments, doing that, the challengers and the wild card and whatever. You can make it. I think, well, I see a lot of potential in you. And the dreams, I was dreaming last night in this interview. I cannot sleep just thinking about this conversation. So, that's a simple thought, a simple dream, but I think dreams come reality. I was thinking about be a 3-0 champion when I start tennis without nothing. I take a racket 2020 for the first time ever, and I have the trophy, and I think I can push more, be a 4-0 champion and even an open champion, because if I put the effort, I put the hours, and it's in my mind, it's in my mindset, I need to do it, because I cannot quit the dream to do it. So if you have those dreams, it's not ambitious, it's a dream. It's a dream, you can make it, or at least try it. It's not something like, oh, I have that dream, but I never try. I see a lot of people in the open tournaments that are good players that I know they're gonna die their careers in college, and that's it. And I see them with my eye, like they can go further if they want. But here they teach you, like, you play tennis, you go to college, you graduate, and that's it. You was a tennis player in college. But what about another step further, going to challengers?
Sure.
I know it's expensive, I know, but you can find sponsors. You can find the solution if you want it, if you want enough. And I know a lot of players that I see now that are very good, they're gonna stop when they got graduation, and that's it.
That's actually my biggest fear. That's always been my biggest fear, and that's always kept me going. Like, I know that there's a lot of people who question what I'm doing. I know there's a lot of doubters.
Of course, there's gonna be.
There's people who don't believe in me, and I know my level needs to improve like crazy. I know I have to, like, my forehand has to get better. My backhand has to get way more top spin. My serve has to add like 20 more miles per hour on it. My fitness needs to like rise to like a different level. My athletic ability has to rise. But I know I have all those issues in my game. But I don't want to, like, my thing is, like, I have a dream of like taking my game to the highest level. I don't want to quit now. I want to see where tennis can take me. I want to just really see how far I can get trying to pursue what I'm doing.
That's good. I support you. I'm your fan. You have a fan. So at least you come with somebody. I believe you can make a lot of great things. I think that you make a lot of great things already. But the thing is like I want to know because I already have my dreams, are small because I'm 36. I cannot shoot for a grand slam or maybe I don't know. Maybe if I just lock in and close all my business and go all in tennis, I am young enough to pull the trigger. But the thing is, I need to get stuck with I can because even winning an open tournament is gonna be hard for me, but I gonna make it. I know I gonna make it.
You should never quit. You should never, if you lose matches, or if you see someone tell you can't do it, or if you feel like things are getting hard, you should never quit, because you have those goals, and you can't deny your goals.
No, I cannot live without my goals.
Yeah.
Like I cannot stop. I'm putting so much effort right now that I need to do something with it. So if I need to drive to Houston, I drive to Houston. If I need to drive to whatever, I compete in California. I go to see a friend of mine and I compete in California. So I'm willing to take, the risk to just to have my dream.
Same for me. I live in Dothan, Alabama. I'm willing to drive all the way to Bradenton, Florida, which is six hours. I'm willing to drive to Miami.
Yeah.
I'm willing to drive to Houston. I'm willing to drive to New Orleans. I'm willing to drive to Indianapolis. I'm not just gonna be like, I'm in Dothan right now. Those are too far. I'm gonna drive and spend money if it means
Sometimes
having a possibility to reach what I can do.
It come to my mind like 2 years ago when I start tennis and I don't see too much tournaments around here. I was thinking the idea that I don't need to live here because now we have this amazing office and everything. But at that time of moment, I was working for home, so I can live in North Carolina. They have a lot of tournaments. So in my mind comes like, oh, let's go to North Carolina just to have my tennis. But that's too selfish, and I don't do it anyway. Yeah, I'm willing to take whatever it is this year to win a 4-0 tournament. Hopefully, it's this weekend, and then go ill with the Open tournament. So I know for the Open tournament, these kids that I need to face, they have something that I don't have, and it's coaching. They have coaches. I don't have a coach. I have friends that help me a lot with experience, that are very, very great friends that have experience, but they're not, coaches. And I know I need to put that on my mind and invest a little bit more because for beat those guys, I need to have a coach to tell me the strategy because these guys don't miss a lot. So I need to learn how to don't miss a lot.
This is personal. This is more towards your game. So have you ever considered really working on your movement, really working on footwork?
Footwork, yeah, I do.
Not spending as much time thinking about your strokes, because I believe your strokes are pretty good, but
you see me playing to tell me that?
I believe that
you see me playing?
Yes.
You see me playing?
Yes.
No.
I have.
So do you think I have a good strokes, but I don't have a footwork? So I'm working now in my footwork.
I believe that sometimes you get jammed on your strokes, and I believe that sometimes you run into the ball. And I think with your game, I just think that your movement can really, it's just like what I'm working on. I've really spent the past month, I've really been focusing and trying to lock in on my movement, my balance, my agility, my side to side, my center of balance. And I got a trainer out of Crunch, and my trainer out of Crunch has really been putting in a lot of work with me on my center of gravity and on my balance and all those areas. And it's not easy. Some days are harder than others. There's days that I come out of it super sore, barely able to move.
Yeah.
But I embrace that struggle. I embrace that pain. But part of that is I've stopped focusing as much on my overall technique. I've been focusing more really on how I move, how I get to the ball. Because if I can get to the ball, I can hit it really well. If I can be in good position, I can possibly make a winner out of that. So
do you think I have potential to improve?
A lot of potential. I just believe.
So do you believe in me?
I believe in you, and
amazing.
Your technique. I would need to take more of a look at it to kind of really figure out what I don't think we need to change your technique. I don't think need to like really change your strokes. I just think maybe refining, as I always said, like refining someone's game, refining what they do, making it easier. And I think the first part of that for you is your movement.
Let's get into later. Let's finish this. So I don't want to get like too long. It's amazing conversation. I want to continue recording, but I don't want to make it too long for the viewers. But let's say with all that you learn in tennis and outside life, personal development now, your dreams, and with this amazing conversation, what message do you have for the person that have dreams and have you judgmental person around them? What message do you have for them? And with that, we close.
You have to be your best fan. You don't worry about external factors, because external factors are always going to be there. There's going to be some, like, there's going to be a person that doesn't believe in you. There's going to be a day where you don't feel like going out and putting in the work. But part of it, it's almost like eliminating those factors, it's easier said than done. I'm guilty of that myself. I'm guilty of like really focusing on what people say about me. I'm guilty about being judged. Yeah. But like part of it is that you have to be your best fan. You have to be your greatest supporter. You have to be your biggest enthusiast, because no one is going to be your biggest fan. You can only be your biggest fan. That's what I've really learned in this journey. Number one thing that I've learned.
I'm glad that we have this conversation record. I'm glad that I finally have this conversation with you, and I wish we can have more conversation together and, you know, do things together in the future. I know I'm asking too much, but you know, put me there in your goals to play together sometime, and I will happy to be there for you and support you in any goals that you have, because you're a great person. That you take me by surprise that day. You are so nice. So thank you so much, and leave it like that. The recording. Anything else?
What I've learned in life is living simply is the best way to live. Living with humility, always striving to improve, but never being assuming.